Hi, I'm John from Pekoetea. Today I want to talk to you about a new tea that's just come into our range. We have been increasing our range of some exquisite teas this year, and we're delighted to have some really unusual ones coming in. This one is from Sri Lanka. It's from the Lumbini tea estate, which is an area called Ratnapura in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has 7 tea growing regions. Ratnapura is down in the south, and Lumbini is known for making some really exquisite handmade teas. We're quite lucky to have some of this, and we've got it in quite a small quantity, and it's something a bit unusual. For me, Sri Lankan tea, Ceylon tea, has always been black tea with a very distinctive kind of flavour to it. I never really got that excited about Sri Lankan teas because I think that teas from some of the other countries that grow tea like China and Japan, and even places in India like Darjeeling, have something more complex and more interesting things going on. But actually, in Sri Lanka, they are doing a lot of experimentation with different types of tea, and this is one of them. So this tea, according to Lumbini themselves, it's made from purple tea bushes, and it is made in a technique, they're calling it yellow tea, which is really interesting. It's called Lumbini Golden Needles, and for golden needles I would assume that it would be fully oxidized, but actually if you look at the leaf, it's quite light in colour, so it's not something which I'm really that aware of. But what's great for us is that it tastes absolutely fantastic, and I suppose the Pekoetea ethos has always been buy tea which tastes great. We don't tend to go down the route of getting things in just because we've been told it's good, or for it being a gimmick. We want to get something which is absolutely exceptional, and really this is one of them. So I'm really happy to have this in our range this year. Not drunk much of it because, well, we don't have very much of it, so it's not something that we can sit around drinking as a team very often. So this is quite nice for me to try some of this for the video that I'm making just now. So normally I would brew this in a teapot, just a normal teapot, but because I want to show you what the leaf looks like, I'm brewing it in glass today. We use glass quite a lot, but sometimes there's a downside to glass as well, in that sometimes you can't get the heat, it loses heat quite quickly, and that kind of thing. I would maybe brew it in a porcelain pot or a bone china pot or something like that. But there are no special brewing techniques needed for this, unlike Gong Fu Cha. Although I haven't tried making it Gong Fu style, it might make something quite interesting, so maybe that's something to try in the future. So I'm going to put some in here. I'm not weighing this out, I'm never very precise with the amount of tea that I use. I'm just guessing 2 to 3 teaspoonfuls worth into this pot. These pots are made by Kinto. They hold about 350 to 400 mils of water. I'm going to use boiling water. We're just off the boiled water. These taps only give us 95 degrees, but that's still hot enough in order to get a nice flavour from it. And what's brilliant about some of these teas, especially the handmade ones, and this one is made completely by hand, is that they're just really nice to look at. And look at the colour of that, that's fantastic. I'll just get a bit more water. So normally I would brew this for about 3 minutes. So I've brewed this for 3 minutes now. I haven't tried this in a while, so it's going to be interesting for me to taste it just now. You can see it's given quite an interesting colour of liquor, and the needles are all standing up on end, which is visually it's just really nice to see. So it's a little bit hot. I'm going to leave it to cool down. But the first aroma is, it's similar to what you might get from Moonlight White tea, which we've got from Yunnan province. It's got that slightly, it is a kind of rosy flavour. It's kind of rosy hue to it. It's the mouthfeel is slightly fizzy. like sparkling almost, and then there's a bit of a slight cocoa aftertaste. So it's like chocolate rose, which is, I suppose, would be like chocolate Turkish delight, wouldn't it? Yeah, very rosy and fruity. A bit of fruit in there as well. Um, yeah, that's something which is really really nice. As I said, this is a new tea to our range. We wanted to expand our range on limited editions, and something which is a little bit different from what we've had before. Sri Lankan teas tend to be black, tend to be from, they tend to be like made en masse, and getting really nice handmade Sri Lankan teas has been quite difficult. So quite excited to have this. We have another tea from Sri Lanka as well, which is goes with this, from a different estate, and that is our Silver Tips Sri Lankan tea as well. And I'll be talking about that in a separate video.